I've tried to get a car with bad credit financing before and was declined. How do I know YouFiiBuy will finance my car?
Typically, things like debt-to-income ratio, time on the job, and credit scores represent the determining factors lenders use when deciding to grant or deny a loan. With the YouFiiBuy model, lenders may not place as much emphasis on these things when evaluating a potential borrower. Our model emphasizes the value of the individual person, not the credit score or credit history, which do not always reflect the responsible character and worthiness of the individual.
Can I insure my car with a liability-only policy, or will I have to pay for full coverage insurance?
As with traditional financing channels, buyers who finance their vehicle using the YouFiiBuy model must carry full coverage insurance on the vehicle until the loan is satisfied.
About how long will it take for YouFiiBuy to approve my loan and for me to take possession of the car I've chosen?
On average, buyers secure financing and take possession of their vehicles within 3 to 10 days. However, that depends on the geographical distance between the buyer and the seller, as well as the specifics of the individual loan agreement.
Do I negotiate directly with the seller?
If you purchase through our for sale by owner lots, you will negotiate directly with the seller. If you choose a vehicle from a dealer lot, you will negotiate with that particular dealer.
Will the seller know about or care about my bad credit?
The seller will know certain facts about your finances, but because of the unique YouFiiBuy transaction model, the seller may not see your credit history as relevant.
Is the seller financing my loan, or is YouFiiBuy loaning me the money?
YouFiiBuy is not a lending institution. YouFiiBuy processes and facilitates the transactions and delivers the periodic loan payments directly to the seller.
How much do I need for a down payment?
The buyer and seller negotiate the down payment requirements.
Can I make payments online?
Periodic loan payments are made through the debit card issued by YouFiiBuy. The payment code is issued SMS text or by email. Buyers enter the code into the payment protection system and then receive a credit for that payment. Those with a PayPal account may choose to make payments online.
Can I use the debit card issued by YouFiiBuy for personal purchases in addition to making my car payments?
Yes, buyers may use the debit card for personal transactions and banking as well.
Are there any hidden fees or other transaction requirements I should know about before I begin the process?
All fees and transaction requirements are disclosed in the payment installment contract provided by the seller.
I have a couple of speeding tickets that cause very high rates when I try to insure a vehicle. Can YouFiiBuy incorporate my insurance payments into my car payments so I can manage them better?
Yes, YouFiiBuy can bundle car insurance payments in with the installment payments. However, you may also incur additional fees for this service.
I'm a single woman and don't want sellers to have access to my contact information. Does YouFiiBuy keep my personal information private?
YouFiiBuy keeps all personal information completely private unless or until the buyer and seller finalize the agreement with a payment installment contract.
If I make all my payments on time, will YouFiiBuy report my good standing to the major credit bureaus?
Yes, YouFiiBuy will make these reports upon buyer's request.
What happens if I want to sell the car before I have made all the payments for it?
As with any asset that carries a lien, all liens associated with that vehicle must be satisfied before or during the sales transaction.
If I am late on a payment, will YouFiiBuy repossess my vehicle?
Typically, the buyer and seller negotiate a grace period for the late payments and include this in the contract. However, YouFiiBuy may disable the vehicle after a payment is more than 3 days late.
Will my friends and family be able to tell that my car has payment protection technology installed in it? I'd like to keep this private.
The YouFiiBuy payment protection system resembles a theft deterrent system that many people install in their vehicles today. Unless you choose to tell them, others will probably not realize it's a payment protection system at all.
How long is the grace period for late payments?
The experts at YouFiiBuy advises the seller the length of time regarding the late payment grace period.
Will YouFiiBuy disable my ignition while I am driving the car?
Absolutely not. The ignition can only be disabled when the car is stationary and the motor is turned off.
What if my ignition is disabled but I have a personal emergency or need the vehicle to get to work so I can obtain money to make a payment.
Every buyer with a YouFiiBuy iBuy payment protection system installed in their vehicle receives a one-time emergency code that will enable the car to run for a period of 24 hours.
How can YouFiiBuy iBuy protect me if I see that the seller misrepresented the car and its condition? Will I recover my down payment money?
YouFiiBuy iBuy has arbitration rules in effect to cover disputes of this nature. The arbitrator will review all information associated with the negotiations and transaction. If they determine the seller did misrepresent the vehicle's condition when negotiating an agreement with the buyer will recover all down payment monies used in that transaction.
What if the car is located in another state? Do I have to pay for delivery?
These specifics are negotiated and agreed upon by the individual seller and buyer and included in the payment installment contract.
Do you perform a thorough title search on all vehicles listed on your lots to ensure that they are free of encumbrances and liens?
The titles are held in escrow and secured by YouFiiBuy iBuy until a buyer purchases the vehicle and completely satisfies the loan, or the seller withdraws the vehicle from the YouFiiBuy iBuy lots.